Hello. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to do your assignment one. So this is a sample for your assignment one. So this is your assignment one document that I'm looking at. And if you look in the middle of that, this is algorithmic design document requirements. So this is the first thing that you have to do because you have to submit two parts for this assignment. One is the algorithmic design document and the other is your actual Python program. So the algorithmic design document essentially is the algorithm or the pseudocode or the step-by-step instructions in English as to how you write the code. So we have provided a template. That way you can start with the template. You don't have to start from scratch. So you open the template and you're going to go through this and make a copy as it says, and you're going to fill in all the information that's asked here. And that's what I'm going to do in my example. So my example is a chatbot. And this is my sample. And you're watching the video for the sample assignment. Here's my program. That's what this is called, chatbot. Okay, the description for this sample assignment, we will create a chatbot program. The program will ask the user two questions and respond accordingly. There's some kind of a computation, which is a calculation, which will be done on a number they enter. So you must have some kind of calculation for this program. Okay. So here's a sample run. It says, welcome to my chatbot program. What is your name? Well, it says Sally. This is, hello, Sally. It's nice to meet you. What's your favorite number? And the user enters 5. Then we say 5 is my favorite number too. Did you know 5 plus 5 equals 10? Did you know 5 times 5 equals 25? This is a simple calculation, right? So this sample run, this document has to be done before you write your program. So this will kind of give you an idea of how your program has to be written. Okay, so that's your sample run that you need to put in. Then we are going to look at, I have a few questions here that you can answer. And if you answer these questions, that will kind of help you have an outline for your algorithmic design. Okay, so identify all the user input. What are the data types of inputs? So user input, what did we have from user? The name of the person and a number. So name as a string and number as an integer. That's all you need for that. Describe the program output. What is displayed to the user? What are the data types of the output? Define the output variables. So what did we display to the user? Two numbers, right? Some calculation. And we also said their name. We had a nice welcome message, right? So, but we don't need to have all of those things. We only need to worry about the variables. Double num as an int and square num. These are the variable names. Double num is a variable name as an integer and square num as an integer. Okay, those two things. What calculations do you need to transform input into output? List all formulas needed if applicable. If there are no calculations needed, state there are no calculations, but we should have some calculations for this. So I will double the input number by adding the number with itself. That's what we're doing here. We're taking the number, adding it to itself, and doubling the number. And so the calculation you need is number plus number equals double num. I will square the input number by multiplying the number by itself. Number times number equals square num. Okay, so we don't really need to see any Python code here. We only need to see English instructions on what we're going to do. So describe the process step by step. This is very important, using numbered steps that transform the input to the output. Here is where, if you had any conditional statements or loops, you would describe that. Print welcome message, step number 1. Prompt user for name and store into variable name. That's what we're doing here in the sample run if you look at that. Echo their name in a hello message. Prompt user for their favorite number and store into a variable number. Print a message saying that that's my favorite number too, and echo the number. Then you set two variables, double num and square num, to these calculations, number plus number, number times number. Print a message with their number doubled and with the other number squared, and you print goodbye. So this is very important to describe in detail what you are doing in your program, what you're going to do in your program, because this will help you write your program better. Okay, so this is the algorithmic design document part of it. Now we go to the program part of it. If you click on this link, I'm going to show you the program. Okay, so now we are going to look at the Python program for this chatbot. So make sure you have a header on the top that gives all the information. And we have a main, and then we call main at the bottom. So the program actually starts executing on line 34. It calls main. Notice main is a function because we have parentheses. And then we def main, define main. So this is a call on line 34 because there's no def in front of it. And this is a definition because it says def main. And there, notice there's a colon at the end, and all of this is called the body of this function main. Notice the indentation, which is very important. The code is indented. The def is out at a different level, which is the same level as main. All this is very important in order for the code to work. So we declare all our variables. So we have name, which is equal to a double space, which is essentially equal to an empty string. So I'm going to add a comment here that says these are variables. And number, which is 0, and two other variables called double num and square num, just like we said in our design document. We have all of these variables that we create. Then we have a welcome message. This is welcome to my chatbot program. Then according to our design document, we say we have to read something from the user. You can look at the sample run, or you can look here, prompt user for a name and store into the variable name. So that's what we're doing here on line 20, prompting for the name, storing it into name. Then we print a hello message that says, hello, it's nice to meet you. And this sep at the end says, don't separate everything by a space, so I can put my own spaces. Otherwise, you have a space here after the name. That doesn't look very nice. So you will see, try different things. You can try by taking out the sep and see what you get, and then putting the sep back in and see what you get. Then we read the number from the user. Then you print the number saying, that's my favorite number too. And then you double the number, you add it, you put it into num, into double num, you square it, number times number, put it into square num. Then you output a message. This slash n says, put a new line for me. That's what that does. So it puts a blank line. Then you say, did you say, or did you know, number plus number equals the variable double number. So it says, did you know this is equal to this, right? It says number, if the user enters 5, 5 plus 5 equals 10. That's what it'll say. And then it'll say, did you know 5 times 5 equals 25? And again, the sep, try different things with the sep. I'm going to show you a few things. Then you can see what your program does. So it says, what is your name? You type in your name. What is your favorite number? You say 6. And it says, did you know 6 plus 6 is 12? 6 times 6 is 36. Now, what if I say in the sep, instead of nothing in there, if I put a semicolon? Watch what's going to happen. When I run it on that line where it says, hello, it's so nice to meet you, you see how some of these things are separated by semicolons. Anywhere there's a comma, it puts a semicolon, or whatever the separator is. Okay, so the separator is used to separate some of these data, and that depends on how you are outputting it. You might have different things. Okay, so that's what the sep does. So play around with the code and use this as an example to do your assignment 1.